Let's talk takeaways from training camp so far.
No huddle, Wilson end zone, caught, touchdown, Elijah Moore.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're just going to go over, we've been in training camp for a little over a week and a half now, and I just kind of wanted to talk about my takeaways from what we're seeing with the reports that are coming out, storylines that I think are interesting, and what we should do with this team moving forward. We still have a lot of time, and with the first set of cut downs coming really soon, it gives the league and the Jets a great opportunity to expand the roster and get new and exciting players in on the team to compete for starting roles. But before we get into that, guys, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video with your friends, hit the notification bell. We are marching our way over to 1,000 subscribers. I would love to be able to hit 1,000 subscribers before week 1, before we face the Ravens. So let's get that going and let's hop right into the video. So training camp is going on, and there's a lot of really, really good things that are coming out of camp, and even the things that are kind of bad are good that they're happening this early because they give us time to correct these issues and these mistakes before week 1. So let's start with one of the great things that is going on in camp, and I think that's just overall Zach Wilson's performance at camp. Zach really, really looks like he is not only a leader of this offense, but a leader of this team. His command of the huddle and of this offense and the understanding that he has of this offense are out of this world and are off the charts. And you can really see the dedication that he has to the game and to being the quarterback for the New York Jets by deleting social media, getting himself away from these distractions and all of these things. It really makes you, or it should make you, feel good about Zach Wilson as the franchise quarterback moving forward. We know that as Jets fans, when it comes time to sign and extend Zach Wilson, that we're not going to have to put a clause that he has to do independent study, right? We know that the guy is dedicated to his film study and dedicated to getting better, and we're seeing that on and off the field with the amount of time that he's putting in with his teammates outside of the mandatory camps and stuff like that, but also the way that he looks at training camp in shorts and in pads. Which leads me to who I assume is going to be his partner in crime moving forward, and that's Elijah Moore. Man, oh man, E is looking more and more, no pun intended, like a number 1 wide receiver. There was this, the highlight that came out, it was about an hour before I recorded this video, of a ball that was thrown to Elijah Moore, and he just one hand snatches it out of the air. You add that with the fact that he's got that where he just snatches the ball out of the air in front of him, that deep ball from Zach. There's so many good plays and good things coming out of Elijah Moore and in this camp against our number 1 corners, guys that are competitive, and it really makes you feel comfortable about this position group. If Elijah Moore wasn't injured last year, I think we would have seen a lot more from him. And we're going to see this kid explode onto the scene and really give opposing defenses a run for their money, because honestly, I don't know how you're going to cover this kid. He is quick. He is fast. He's got good hands. He's athletic. He's aggressive when he's running with the ball, after the catch. I love this kid. He is one of my favorite players on this team. I have made it a priority to get an Elijah Moore jersey because this guy is not only possibly one of the best Jet players on this team, but he will be one of the best Jet players on this team for the next 10 years, and I cannot wait to see that happen. The partnership between him and Zach Wilson is ultimately going to be the driving force of this football team for years to come, and I'm here for it. I love it. Sticking to the offensive side of the ball, one of the things that I think that we all learned this weekend was that we for sure 100% need a backup tackle. with Max Mitchell going down with an injury, and I know that I love Max Mitchell, but he wasn't the answer at backup for the tackle spot yet. That's what he's going to be next year. He still needs to put on some weight, and he still has some footwork and some hand placement things that he needs to get fixed, but he is the backup tackle or the swing tackle for the future. I believe in Max Mitchell, but this year we saw that Chuma Edoga and Connor McDermott are not the answer when it comes to backup tackle. We need to go get a backup tackle. We need to go get a player that can slot in case George Fant or Mekhi Becton goes down. And the likelihood of us getting 17 games out of Mekhi Becton or 17 games out of George Fant are really unlikely. These are two big men that are both coming off of knee injuries. So there's a good to fair chance that one or both of those guys go down at some point throughout the year. And I would much rather be safe than sorry. Us going out and trading for a guy or signing a guy or bringing in someone to be a backup tackle for this team, I think immediately became a priority, especially with how weak the play was at left tackle while George Fant was out. The good thing I say about this offensive line is that when George Fant came in, we did see a big jump in the protection that Zach got and stuff like that. That unit still needs a lot of work, and we saw that with the Sauce Gardner play in the red zone. They're not picking up the blitzes and the different things that are going on as efficiently as we would like. But it's week 2 of training camp, right? Like, everything that's going on, you got to take with a grain of salt. But I'm really, really happy with where this offense is and what we're doing and how we're progressing. And then the last story on the offensive side of the ball that I kind of wanted to bring up was CJ Uzomah has been kind of quiet since training camp has started. We got a lot of reports and a lot of news from some good players coming out of camp. You know, we got a lot of news and a lot of reports out of, you know, Elijah Moore and Corey Davis and Breece Hall and Sauce Gardner and the rookies and whatever. But what we're not really hearing anything out of are the tight ends. We heard some things about Tyler Conklin, but I think the expectation for a lot of people was that CJ Uzomah was going to come in and immediately be like this tight end one, and we're not seeing those stories or those things come to fruition yet. Not saying that it's a cause for concern, because I don't think that it is, but it's something to keep an eye on. How do these tight ends, especially with this revamped tight end group, acclimate to the play scheme that we're doing and the playbook and all of that stuff? But can we see more from these guys as time progresses? I hope so. So let's see what goes on there. Now let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. And let's talk defense. So I think number one thing that we got to talk about with the defense is Sauce Gardner. I know a lot of people really don't like the word shutdown corner, and I'm one of those people. I don't believe we have shutdown corners in this league anymore. The rules don't let you be a shutdown corner, but what Sauce is has transcended that. I think he's a shutdown player. His read and react ability, his ability to shed blocks, his tackling ability, what he provides in the run game and in coverage, and just everything that you see from this kid really, really gets me excited. There's a reason that he was my number 1 player on my big board last year, and for the Jets to get him at 4 was a big, big deal. And so when you add a player like Sauce, and when you add that athletic ability to a cornerback room that already had Bryce Hall and Brandon Echols, who were 2 players that got starting reps last year, and they were pretty solid corners, and then you also add DJ Reed to that room. Cornerback is a position that was relatively weak last year, and it's not anymore. It's one of our strongest positions. It went from being one of our weakest position groups to one of our strongest position groups, because I trust, I think, like 5 or 6 of the corners that we have on our roster to take snaps. So I'm really, really happy, and I'm really, really excited about what we're seeing out of Sauce Gardner, because I think it's big. I really, really do. The other thing that really kind of stands out is this defensive unit as a whole is playing really, really well. Specifically, our front 4 is getting home to Zach a little bit more than I'd like when you're looking at our offensive line, but the thing that you got to take is like, one, defense is always going to win when pads aren't on, because offensive linemen don't have anything to grab, right? Offensive linemen are built to grab shoulder pads, and it's hard to grab jerseys, especially with how tight these guys wear their jerseys. So you love to see the defense getting home, and you love to see production out of so many different names from the defense. I'm really, really happy with that. But I want to see a little bit more stories, specifically coming out of the middle of the field. What's going on, and who's taking reps on the interior of the defensive line, who's taking reps at linebacker, and who's taking reps at safety. I know that reporters aren't allowed to report a lot of that stuff because of the Jets rules and stuff like that, but it's stuff that I care about, and it's the things, and those are the positions on the football field that ultimately are going to define this defense. But that being said, the defense is looking good. They had that fourth down stop in the red zone and all that stuff in the last 11-on-11 drill that the Jets had yesterday. So really good things that we're seeing coming out of camp from the offense and the defensive side of the ball. I really like the players that we've brought in and the players that we've drafted. It really gets me excited for where this Jets team is going, because ultimately this youth and the core and the foundation that we're building is going to be something that's going to get us all really excited for this team moving forward for a long time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is there any stories that I missed? Is there anything that you think is important coming out of camp? Let me know. And last but not least, go Jets.